Hi Scrappy Savages. Today I'm going to share a little pop-up mini album. This is actually one that was first made by Alleghena Scrap. She does have a YouTube channel. And Chrissy found it and wanted to see if we could do it. So you're going to need 2 sheets of 4x12 cardstock. Then you're going to need 3 sheets that are 3.5 by 10. You will also need 3 sheets that are 3.5 by 8. And then you will need one that is 1.5 by 4. And I just use plain smooth cardstock for this. That seemed to work the best. So let's go ahead and get started. So first we're going to score the 4x12s at the 6-inch mark. Then we are going to take the small strip that is 1.5 by 4 and score that at 0.75. And you always want to, when you're doing the folds, to make your mountains into valleys and your valleys into mountains. That will help with the paper fibers. Now we're on to the 3.5 by 10, and you're going to score this at 2.5 and 7.5, then flip it over and score at 5. Okay, and you'll go ahead and burnish that. Remember, when you're burnishing, you want to fold the opposite way that you did before. So mountains into valleys, valleys into mountains. So score at 2.5, 7.5, flip it over, score at 5, burnish that. Remember, mountains into valleys, valleys into mountains. 2.5, 7.5, and 5 again. Okay, so we've got that put together. Now we are going to be taking the 3.5 by 8 and we're going to score at 1.75. So all 3 of those at 1.75. So those are in half now as well. Now if you'll see, I have a line down the middle of my scoreboard that is right in the center at the 6-inch, and I just used a fine tip scrapbook pen for that. Now we're going to go ahead and measure the 3.5 by 8 pieces at 2.25 and 5.75. So you can do it with a ruler as I did here. Go to the other side, do that again, 2.5 and 5.75. And then you're going to line up those tick marks on that center line that you made on your scoreboard and go ahead and score that. Okay. Now another way to do it is go ahead and line it up with your scoreboard. Mark your tick marks at 2.25 and 5.25. Line those tick marks up again on the center mark that you made on your scoreboard. Do that for the last one. Again, it's 2.25 and 5.75. Line that up on your scoreboard and go ahead and do that. So now you've got an X. Now I want to go ahead and get all of that burnished. So those were all at 2.25 and 5.75. And then go ahead and burnish all those folds. So you're going to have a fold lengthwise down the middle, and then you're going to have an X in the center. Okay, then you'll fold those in so it kind of makes a little house. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on all of those. So let me slow that down so you can see that. So you push in the centers, burnish that, so you've got your folds, and it looks like a house or an arrow. Go ahead and do that with all 3. So you push in the centers, burnish your fold, and these are going to be your pop-up mechanisms that you use for the mini album. So again, just push in the centers, burnish your folds. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start assembling. So I just use some double-sided tape, and you're going to only put this on the point of your mechanism here. You can use wet glue as well if you would like. Again, we're just doing it on the point. And then you're going to take your 4x12 piece, go ahead and open that up. You want to center that point up to the fold, but not in the fold. So just up to the fold, but not actually in the fold. And center that mechanism so you've got a little bit on each side of your cover piece showing. Now we're going to do the double-sided tape on the other half of the point. And then you'll be able to go ahead and fold that down, and we've got our first part there. So we're going to repeat that with another mechanism. inside a 4x12 cover. And again, the point up to the fold, but not inside the fold of the 4x12 piece. Double-sided tape. Make sure you've got that centered there. And go ahead and apply the double-sided tape to the other half. Okay, now you've got those put together. See what that looks like. All right, now we're going to take the pieces that we had already scored that were 3.5 by 10. And you're just going to find the center of the folding mechanism and just put a couple of tick marks. Now you're going to take your 3.5 by 10, center that in there, fold up the two edges, and you're going to mark on the mechanism where you had folded up and just put score tape only in that rectangle so it looks like that. Okay, put that back in and center it with the folds in, unfold it, then you'll go ahead and repeat that on the other side. Unfold that. Now you've got your first pop-up. So we're going to go ahead and do that on the second one. And again, you're measuring the center of the mechanism, putting a couple of tick marks on there, and that's just so you can center the accordion piece. So the accordion is folded with the ends in. You'll mark in opposite corners where that fold is. Score tape only in that rectangle. And take the tape off of only one side. Center your accordion in there again. So center that in there. Unfold just one side. Then you'll take the tape off the other side, unfold it. Okay, there's page 2 done. Now we want to take both of the ones we've finished, unfold them. You want the open pieces to be in the center. And then you're going to go ahead and do your binding. So that was the piece that we cut that was 4 by 1.5. Put the binding in the middle there. Add your last mechanism just as we did the others. Go ahead and close that up. Now you're going to see that this mechanism is on the back side of your book now. So again, you do the accordion, have it folded with the ends to the middle, mark on the mechanism where that fold is, do the double-sided tape only in that rectangle, and then you'll go ahead and bring your accordion back in, make sure it's centered and lined up along the edges, unfold, repeat. Okay, so now we've got it done. So this one's on the back. So if you turn to the front, you've got 1, 2, flip it around, you've got your third one. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and make a pocket. So I did cut this at, believe it was 4 by 3. I'm sorry, 4 by 6. So then go ahead on the long ends and do a score 1/2 inch in on each side and then score in the middle. So now we're just burnishing those two sides in that you scored at 1/2 inch. Flip it around. And we're going to go ahead and snip right in the center, only up to the fold. Just right in the center, only up to the fold. And then we are actually going to cut off that scored 1/2 inch on both sides of just one end. And what we're doing here is making a little pocket with a flip up. So what we're cutting there is going to be the flip up portion. The other portion that still has the folds is the pocket that we're going to adhere some score tape to. So go ahead and burnish those, miter the corners, then you'll add your score tape to those flaps as well as the bottom of your pocket so your tag doesn't fall through. And then we're going to go ahead and attach that just inside the very front cover of our little mini album. Okay, so it flips open. Now I'm decorating the front there. That was just some ephemera that was included in the kit. And then I'm going to add a couple of little magnets there in order to keep that little pocket closed. So what you do is you stick both magnets on one side, adhere it, and then you put the tape on the top and adhere it to the other side. So didn't want to show you the whole decoration portion, but here's the finished album. So there's inside the very first opening. There's the little pocket with the fold down portion. So that folds down. and it stays closed with the magnets under the paper. There's a little tag. Flip that closed, and then we can go to the second one here. And I just used paper from the main kit to decorate this, as well as some ephemera. And then I believe I used the washi tape that was probably included in the add-on. That's the back. You flip it all the way around, and then there's your last pop-up. And that butterfly is a die cut that I have in my stash that I used. So there you go. There's the front. Use some flowers. Use the heart chain, one of the wax